Well, Mandalorian, in his, penultimate episode, I guess? Yeah. So there's only one left after this one. Yeah. Well, this one was better than last week's episode, but... well, the plus sides of it. Well, you got some cool action in this. Quite a few shootouts, all kinds of stuff. And good old Moff Gideon showed up, you know. There. And of course, Gus Fring's always been a good villain. And too bad he's more or less wasted here. But he shows up in his cosplaying as Darth Vader, you know, and even puts a helmet on, a Mandalorian helmet with bat ears, you know. He was cosplaying as Batman, but still, I would have thought they would have just said that he was a Mandalorian himself, but he betrayed them to the Empire, you know, for position and power and all that. It didn't sound like it in the narrative, so anyway, cool fight scene, spaceships, all that stuff. That's about the plus of it. Okay, the bad. Geez. So, remember at the outset that Din Djarin said he wanted to restore IG-11? Well, I guess they tried and just couldn't figure it out. So instead, they turned him into a carnival ride for Grogu. Yes, he's basically just a toy for Grogu to drive. So Grogu fits in his chest, and he drives him around, and he can operate IG's voice. He's IG-12 now. See, I don't see how, because he's just a clunky thing that you can drive. So anyway, they had a little bit of chuckle scenes there where Grogu can now respond yes and no, through the voice of IG-12, and so he wants to play with it, but Din's like, I don't think this is a good idea, but you know, he's a bratty little kid, so he just keeps saying no, and still quite the klepto as he keeps stealing food without paying for it. So Din had to pay for it, tee-hee, giggle, and stuff like that. So anyway, after securing property on Apollo Creed's planet, they decide to pack up and head back to Mandalore. So they bring their whole fleet, which they stole from the Empire, and then painted their logo on it. Which that's one of the positives. That was a cool scene with flying over with his logo on it, because I thought, what the Republic should have done is seize all those Star Destroyers and just paint their rebel symbol on it, you know? But instead, they decided to just scrap them all. And then later found out, oh no, we don't have the ships to deal with enemies and stuff. Yeah, all that rebellion just to put a bunch of morons in charge. But anyway, so that's what the Mandalorians, they got their own fleet and stuff. So they pack up and head over to Mandalore and decide, hey, let's check it out. So they do, and lo and behold, there's some other Mandalorians who never left the planet. And they show up and they bow down to Bo, because, you know, she's the rightful heir to the throne or whatever. And so they decide to camp out and talk things over. And then they said, well, we were never going to give up. And then she says, yeah, well, I kind of did. See, I surrendered to Moff Gideon. He told me he'd spare you guys. But of course he lied. You know, Empire and everything. And destroyed everything. And boy, that's pretty bad. But, you know, everybody makes mistakes, so let's all band together and try to restore the planet. So that's what they're going to do. And then, lo and behold, another giant monster comes out of the ground. And, I mean, it's huge. And they're on this sort of land ship that sails, I don't know, And they're heading right for the monster, but there's a good distance there. They could have at least changed course or try to slow down. No, they went right for it. It just stepped on their ship, and boy, I mean, scattering Mandalorians everywhere, barbecuing a few of them. And but luckily, there's a cave nearby, and the rest of them head into that, and it leads right to the Great Forge, which is what they were looking for. I mean, the locals knew where it was, so they didn't have to go too much further, which is why I don't know why they bothered. But anyway, so they go in there and they're like, oh man, look, it's the Great Forge. Hopefully we can restore it, blah, blah, blah. And then here come some Mandalorian-styled stormtroopers. So they've got Beskar armor. Oh no, it's a standoff, sort of, as they shoot, 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 fight, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. And one of them is sent away, well, not one of them, one of the real Mandalorians is sent away to go warn the fleet that's up in orbit with some wounded and sick people that they're taking care of. But since the Empire's there, I kind of wonder if that's still the situation. And the title of the show was The Spies. And, of course, we see the spy on Coruscant, the one who betrayed the Doctor and all that. And she has a little communique with Moff Gideon to tell him what's up with the Mandalorians. So he's like, oh, no. So he rushes over to tell the other generals and admirals of what's left of the Empire. And here's a real stinker for you. So they're all holograms while he visits with them. That's how they do it. And one of them has the name Hux. Yeah. Maybe Grandpa or Daddy Hux. Yeah. Yeah. Damn near right. Pure connection. It's not just damn near. Pure connection to the sequel trilogy. That's right there. Yeah, and acting just like his boy. Yeah. Yeah, little Weasley guy, They mentioned Thrawn, so there's that, because just affirming my belief that the plan is to take whatever they can out of the EU and the Thrawn trilogy and all that. And try to fuse it in and force it in. Of course, originally it was a battle with Luke and Lando and the old gang. Luke, Lando, Han Solo, Princess Leia, the whole gang, But this time around, it'll just have to be new characters. Yeah. But all of that just to be used to kind of prop up a backstory for the sequel trilogy, which the sequel trilogy never bothered to do, to explain the scenario and why it is the way it is and all that. And so that's how they're going to fix it, which it will not fix it. And then quickly, let's move on to the future beyond the rise of Palpatine, and that's what they would think would be good enough. Well, they're completely wrong, of course, because again, it could be a great bowl of soup, but if there's a turd floating in it, you can't just tell people to spoon around it. You just can't. They're just going to pour the whole thing out. So anyway, back to Mandalorian. So there's a little battle of dominance because they mentioned Thrawn. They said, oh, we're waiting for him to come back. And, Moff says, yeah, that's been a while. We can't wait for him. So then he mentions the Mandalorians could be a problem. And they're like, oh, no, the Mandalorians. So he requests more supplies, more ships, more men and stuff. And he gets it. So they have this battle in the underground with the Great Forge with the stormtroopers, and they decide, hey, we're winning, let's chase them. And they do, and as they go deeper, they discover, hey, there's this whole Imperial facility under here. Man, I wonder what this is all about. It's a trap, stupid. And what do? They walk right into it. Yeah, and then the doors drop down, and they're stuck. And then Moff Gideon shows up, and he says, hey, in his Mandalorian suit, he's like, hey, look at me, huh? I'll be the real ruler of Mandalore. But still, he just says, you people, and stuff like that. It's as if, I guess he's not a Mandalorian. I would have thought he was, but just a traitor, I don't know, but he wants the Darksaber, but he doesn't get it. And they manage to escape in a fight with each other. But Din Djarin gets captured, so we got to save him next episode. But the big dude with the big cannon gun, stays behind to fight them all off, despite Bo going, no! But she's like, well, what am I going to do about that? I guess I got to go. So she does. And he dies in battle, you know. It would have been very easy for him to get with Bo and shut the door behind them and destroy the controls to raise it, and they could have both made their escape, but I don't know, he's kind of stupid, didn't think of that. He should have been thinking about his poor son, who is now an orphan, but again, he didn't think about that. So he died instead. And there you go. That's, you're all caught up. Oh, wait. No. Yeah, the sequel trilogy made its appearance yet again, because the ones who took out the big cannon gun guy was Snoke's Imperial Guard. I mean, I guess they're not Snoke's yet, but there they were with the weapons they used in Last Jedi and their red suits and everything. Yeah. Hey guys, yeah, remember us? Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, I do. And so they killed the big Mandalorian, you know. Yeah. So there you go. The Spies. Which was, there was only one, unless, of course, one of the other members is a spy for Moff Gideon. I don't know. The armorer. Maybe she's a traitor after all, you know. So. Well, anyway, there you go. Well, see how this glorious adventure wraps up next week.